Hey, what's up? Silas here. This is going to be a video about logical consistency when it comes to thought crimes and kind of where it's coming from. Why is there such an importance to say things that you think are bad, not what you act on? If you just think, if you sit there and you think about white nationalism or you think about a certain thing, you think gay people are a certain way, and you might even just treat all gay people the same. But if you think they're different, if you look at the situation and you say, I think people who are fit are actually better than people who are like obese. No, you can't even just think that. You're supposed to think things are the same. You're supposed to think they're the same. You can be bad for just thinking things. So thinking itself is more important than what you actually act on. And I do know there's a connection to it. If you think a certain way, chances are you're going to act a certain way. If you think you can fly, if you really think you can fly, there's going to be higher chances for you to jump off like 20-story buildings when you think you might fly. If you don't think you can fly, you're probably not going to do that. But anyway, so why do people do this? And what's the logical inconsistency that I'm seeing? I'm thinking people are considering that important and saying, yes, the bad thoughts mean you're a bad person, because a lot of these people just have good thoughts about who they are and don't have any actual objective results of why they're good. They don't have any actions to prove this is why I'm good, this is why I'm accomplished. And this could be for many reasons. There could be many limitations in society for people to achieve as much as they may think they should achieve in order to be in a certain point. And this is something coming down to do with people just not having accurate kind of assessment of their abilities and their expectations being a little too high and things like that. So if you can be bad for just thinking bad things, then that means thoughts themselves define who the person is. That means I can also be good for just thinking I'm good. I don't have to do anything good or worthwhile for me to be treated as a good person and a worthwhile person. I don't have to prove it to you through my actions that I'm good. I just have to think I'm good. And you have to think I'm good. And then we're going to accept that I'm good. But in order to have some logical consistency with that, and I think whether you like it or not, people try to have logical consistency. That's why you have to compartmentalize things in order to actually have these opposing things. You can't just have the opposing things. Nobody actually just sits there and says, okay, this one thing doesn't make completely sense with this other thing, but I'm just going to say 2 + 2 = 8 when you understand what 2 + 2 actually is. No, you'd have to say that second 2 is somehow different because of something. You have to find some way to make that different, because people like consistency. So they have to get to a situation where if they state their own thoughts of being worthwhile are enough, and they don't have to act any certain way in order to defend them being worthwhile, in order to show that they're worthwhile, then you have to hold thoughts over actions, and then you have to hold bad thoughts to be the definitive thing of what makes somebody bad versus their actions. You get what I mean right there? Especially the fact that the actions a person does kind of go against them actually thinking they're good. Like, let's say, back to the weight thing, back to the shape thing. Being overweight, out of shape, unhealthy is objectively worse than being in shape and healthy. So even if I don't necessarily think I'm in the best shape, but I'm actually working out, I am actually objectively in better shape, healthier than somebody who thinks they're in great shape and healthy, but doesn't work out at all and eats horribly and is just massively overweight. Yet they would want the situation where their thoughts of them being in a good situation is more important than their actions that lead them to not being in a good situation, or somebody else's action leading them to a better situation that doesn't have the thoughts that they're in a better situation. Does that make any sense, that logical consistency there? Okay, goodbye. This is why it's good to look at these current movements as just modern-day religions. We started with animism, then went to paganism, then went to polytheism, then you had the monotheistic religions, the Abrahamic religions, and now you have these metheist religions where people are their own godheads and define what is a sin in their mind. Just as God would know what you're thinking and you could pray to God, you could be like, oh, this person might be bad, but they pray and they do these things. They have good thoughts. Or, oh, this person, God knows what you're doing in your mind, so you have to rectify your mind. So I understand kind of where they come from, even though I don't agree with that whole thing that thoughts are more important than actions. But yeah, goodbye.